Carol, I think the first time you came to Hong Kong was when you were a child, when your mother was, I think, the leader of the opposition in 1977. So that's a long, long time ago. Do you remember that trip?
I do indeed, and I was phenomenally excited about being there at all. I have been back to Hong Kong since. I landed at the new airport, as it then was in 1997, just a few days after it had opened, and I was absolutely awed by this is reclaimed land, this is the biggest passenger terminal, and my boyfriend was very disappointed not to be landing at the old airport in the middle of town.
We are thrilled that you're coming back, not as an observer nor a tourist, but as an author, as a writer, because I think your career started off as a journalist and then you wrote some books, but writing is in your blood. So in Hong Kong, at the Hong Kong Book Fair, we want to find out, or people in Hong Kong want to find out, why you write, how you write, what you write, what it is that makes you want to write. Have you always had a desire to write?
Well, I think some people are born passionate wordsmiths. In my case, I wrote biographies about people who I think had a story to tell. I wrote a biography of my late father, Sir Denis Thatcher, because when my mother was Prime Minister, people asked me obviously about her, but a lot of people asked me, well, what was it like to be Mr. Maggie Thatcher? So I said to Denis, come on, tell me the anecdotes, a lot of it in his own words, and we wrote a book, and I'm very proud to say it was very popular because everybody wanted to know. Women wanted to know what it was like to be 2 steps behind, the husband being 2 steps behind. And he had loads of very good stories, but also it's one of those jobs that look terribly easy. You know, life on the red carpet, Chequers is a very nice weekender. But in actual fact, it was walking on eggshells. Any consort in Number 10, or indeed the White House, will tell you that's exactly what it is. You do something wrong and you'll be on the front pages looking a total embarrassment.
Was it an easy subject to interview?
Well, he was delightful. You knew him well, of course. He had a tremendous sense of humour. He didn't take himself too seriously. And we had a very good time. And I found out quite a lot about him. I mean, how about that?
Well, that's very good. Now, you've gone on to do television programs and so forth. And you are now embarking possibly on a near career of wanting to teach English in the Far East, possibly China. Why do you want to do that?
Well, I think English is the language of the world. It's the language of technology. I've been on the telly screens. I want to be in the classroom now. And I think I can enthuse people and energise people to learn English. And I said to some students the other day, which is relevant to the Hong Kong Book Fair, I don't mind if you read books on a shiny tablet. I don't mind if you read in a dilapidated paperback, but read. And this is one of the things that attracts me so much to accept your invitation to come down to the Hong Kong Book Fair.
Well, we're delighted that you're coming, because I'm sure that lots of people will want to ask you about not only your writing, but of course your famous mother, who gave Hong Kong away, as it were. And so she's left a great memory at the tail end of the colonial history of Hong Kong, which has been a triumph within the British Empire, if I may say so. If there was ever a good thing that came out of the empire, Hong Kong was a shining example.
Before I came to see you, I was reading in her own Downing Street memoirs all of the run-up to the handover in 1997, so I know what went into it.
Did she not ask you to come to the handover?
No, I think I might have been working, Sir David. She was very keen on that sort of thing.
Very good. Well, look, listen, we are much looking forward to seeing you in Hong Kong, and I'm sure that of the 2 forums that we'll be doing, one at the Trade Development Council at the Hong Kong Book Fair, and another one at the University of Hong Kong, lots of people will be asking you about your writing, and hopefully, and I'm sure that you will dispense many pearls of wisdom. Carol, see you in July in Hong Kong.